Welcome back. The National Statistical Office is running a public forum for consultation in reviewing its Statistical Service Act. The last time the Act was reviewed was in 1980. Thus, most of the sections in the Statistical Service Act is outdated and need to be reviewed. Jacqueline Yala reports.
The forum involves the general public to participate and propose ideas on which sections of the Statistical Service Act needs to be reviewed. During the public consultation, it has been identified that most of the wordings in the sections are not written in the layman's understanding. Constitutional Law Reform Commission was engaged to look into the laws, collect public opinions, and document the proposed amendment of the laws before being passed in the Parliament. Director for Constitutional Law Reform Commission, Lois Stanley, says the Statistical Service Acts are outdated and needs to be expanded.
The inadequacy of the law. So now they've requested it. It's timely that we review the Act and let's beef it up, let's expand, because PNG is now modernizing.
She identified compliance and penalty issues are the main areas that needs to be reviewed.
They are compliant, but some of the state agencies and some of the private enterprises, they do not comply with what the law says.
This will help the National Statistical Office to carry out its duties in terms of collecting data. Acting Deputy National Statistician Hannah Okari highlighted where the data will be collected and its benefits.
Other business houses can also provide financial data and other necessary data in order for the compiling of the national accounts, and also the release of the GDP, which is very important for the country to measure its economic growth.
Jacqueline Yala, NBC National News, Port Moresby.
Raising the living standards of people and empowering them to get into business is the government's priority focus. And while avenues towards achieving this are being established, the challenge for success lays solely on determination by people. This was the encouragement delivered to well over 60 aspiring entrepreneurs in the Samarai Murua district of Milne Bay at the conclusion of a 2-week SME training on Misama Island last week. Priscilla Wekaidi reports from Alatau.
Misama Island, associated with gold mining, has seen better days, and since the mine closure in early 2000, people have been left to fend for themselves. The living standards once enjoyed is all but a memory, and in recent attempts, its Louis said local level government has now embarked on supporting and strengthening small to medium business entrepreneurs on the island.
So you are here being trained because you will make the change. You will increase your level of thinking to bring the change into your family first. Then it is embedded in the community. So it becomes the whole lot, that change for the whole lot of us.
The Louis Said LLG Assembly, he says, had recently approved and appropriated funding for the establishing of an SME office to assist them move ahead in the sector and to sign up an understanding with the Office of the Small to Medium Enterprise Corporation to carry on SME training to cover all of Misima Island over the next 14 years. Although not a first, 63 participants in total attended a 2-week small to medium enterprise training workshop with representation from all of Louis Said LLG's 32 wards with intent to begin the step forward to bring change.
I will not depend on my husband, or I will not depend on someone to come up and do consultation on accounting and all that. I think I can do that by myself.
Basically, we mainly concentrate on bakery or the simple thing, sewing, handcraft that women are doing at home to sustain their living standard. So with the skills that I'm going to gain here, will help me to go back and help them to improve from where they are.
If I know how to manage the money or the profit that I'm making every day from everyday sales, then I believe that I can do something greater from the profit and the money that I am making from each day sales.
some of the happy participants at the workshop, which ended last Friday. The training was facilitated by the Office of the Small to Medium Enterprises Corporation, who say while the seeds have been sowed, it comes down to who will stand tall, driven by determination and willpower to succeed. Priscilla Waikaidi, NBC National News, Alotau.
It now appears certain that a woman will replace David Cameron as the British Prime Minister after the Justice Secretary Michael Gove was eliminated from the Conservative Party's leadership race. In the second round of votes overnight, the Home Secretary Theresa May crushed her rivals, receiving the support of nearly two-thirds of Conservative MPs.
Theresa May looks to be striding towards victory. She has the backing of most MPs and is now the clear favourite in the race to replace David Cameron.
This vote shows that the Conservative Party can come together and that under my leadership it will.
Inside the Palace of Westminster, the scale of her support became clear. The Home Secretary crushed her rivals in the second round of the Tory leadership ballot.
Michael Gove, 46 votes. Andrea Leadsom, 84 votes. Theresa May, 199 votes.
The result means Michael Gove, the man who betrayed former London Mayor Boris Johnson, is eliminated.
I can't hear you. Are you ready?
And leaves Eurosceptic Energy Minister Andrea Leadsom to take on Mrs May in the final stage of the contest.
Having played a part in showing this country the prospects for us outside of the EU, I just felt I needed to put myself forward to offer to lead the way through it, because I really believe in it.
Now MPs here in Westminster have had their say. Ballot papers will be distributed across the country. About 150,000 Tory party members will decide who they want as Prime Minister, with the result due to be announced in early September. Two-thirds of the Conservative Party's base voted to leave the EU, something that could help Andrea Leadsom's cause.
What do we want?
Let's have a leader!
When do we want it?
Now!
But whatever happens, this result is significant. Britain will soon have a woman as Prime Minister for just the second time.
NBC National News continues after the break. Stay with us.